What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bartlett Arborist Supply. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the brand new Pantin Click. Okay, so my typical go-to foot ascender is the C.A.M.P Turbo Foot Evo. Nothing wrong with it. I still use it. I like it. Little pulley rollers on the side, reduce a little bit of that drag, locking function and non-locking function. But then I had a friend of mine who said, hey, you should try the Pantin, right? The original Pantin, which I was like, and it's been around for a long time. It's not really new, right? The Pantin's been around for a hot minute. And you know what? I said, okay, let me throw this one off to the side and we'll go ahead and run the Pantin. Well, little I know, I actually really enjoyed the Pantin. And what I actually really enjoy about this is the non-locking feature. Right, I'm a big fan of the non-lock features. I like being able to kick the rope out without having to bend over. I just give my foot a little wiggle and boom, rope comes out. So that's really nice. It's also very nice that it's compact and minimal space on the boot. Not like the C.A.M.P is any much bigger. Really, it's just downsizes a little bit. But, you know, if you're going through tight branch unions or you're working in a tree where that actually is going to matter quite a bit and you're not taking the foot ascender off, that's when those little small details start to pay out. On the webbing, I really do wish it could have been something like the turbos, just a little bit thicker, but I can get used to it. I got down with it. Now, here comes the next one, the evolution of the Pantin, not the actual ascender itself, but more or less the strap of the ascender. So this is great. Turbo, the Pantin works. It's fantastic, phenomenal. Actually, I'm gonna leave it on the rope. Maybe we'll use it here as an example. So boom. All right, we'll slide this guy up here. So I first laid eyes on it before TCI Expo in 2025. Then I got to put my hands on it, put it on my foot, and I've received one here, and I've been messing around with it a little bit. You would think, the first things first, right? It seems like the ratcheting system is catching on in multiple different products, right? A couple different products. And, this one's actually, I thought of it, I was like, oh, well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. And then I just said, let's do it, let's run it. So I picked one up. It's actually adjust very nice, very snug onto the boot. You would think that the platform here where the ratcheting system is mounted to, you would think it gets caught on your foot or it's gonna hurt right up the ankle, but it actually molds down and around really nicely once it's snug. I imagine it's gonna break in a little bit nicer once I start to use it more. I do like that they went with black webbing rather than the traditional white of the Pantin, just because it gets really dirty, really crispy, really quick, and you might be able to distinguish when it's dog poop a little bit faster. You've been in that yard where you just, is that mud or is that poop? Oh, lo and behold, it was poop. God, that ruins your day. It just does. But moving on forward from that, okay? Same size on the ascender. The cami action is still the same, but they do have the catch feature on. Now, with the Pantin, come back. The Pantin does not come with the catch, right? The catch is not present on this one. They decided to add the Pantin catch onto the ascender itself. I was looking at how to take it off, and it doesn't seem like you can take it off unless you were to take this one off and put this one on. Okay, never mind. But it's very simple to adjust, right? I was talking to my friend who was, giving me the whole rundown of the Petzl Pantin Click, and he was telling me that the biggest thing that he had found was that on the ratcheting portion here that comes out and the excess of it, he said you could snip it off. I don't really like to cut that stuff off. I like keeping it stock, I don't like to modify a lot of things. I just keep it stock, right? If it works, I'm not doing nothing else to it. But the biggest tip that helped me get down to my foot and not deal with a lot of this excess strap sticking out, just mess around with the webbing, get it to dial into your boot, whether it's an chainsaw boot, like a Arbortech KO, or if you're an ARB Pro Evo enthusiast, you know, a solider tree climb boot as well. Or if you're just trying to do some recreational climb, or let's say you're on the barefoot craze, okay? This can adjust very nicely. I myself have a set of Soleil was on today, and you know, putting it on feels good. And to put it on, it's still relatively easy. Now, with the Pantin, you can take the top strap off. You can still do the same thing, right? The yellow button on the ratchet, you depress that, and out you can slip it. Or slip it out, I mean. You know what I'm saying? It does have a pivoting action too, onto that ratcheting cam capture device. I might not know the technical name, but I like to say different things. Sue me, whatever. No, actually don't do that. I'm not that rich, I'm broke. Can we cut that out, or are we leaving that?
I'll leave it.
When I say that, put on like sad music.
Yeah.
All right, so getting it on your boot, I think the easiest way is going to detach that ratcheting system, slip it on like Cinderella's heel. Oh my God, it fits. This must be the one. So you can get down, go around to the backside. Now the one thing I do like to point out is I'm not a fan of how the excess webbing actually lays. So I've been just sneaking it beneath the heel portion webbing so that it's out of the way. You know, any of that excess webbing, if it hits that if it makes contact with the bottom of your boot and you're on a limb walk that's pretty dicey, you know, it goes with any type of webbing. If it catches on the limb, you might lose your grip. So I'm always pretty cautious of how much webbing is sticking out, because I have had some pretty bad experiences. But okay, I'm okay with that. I also don't want, big one too, you also don't want to have this webbing interfere with the rope coming into the cam. If that webbing goes into the cam, then you're not really going to get the bite action. You're not going to be able to send up the rope as it is intended to. As soon as it goes here, right, we're going to pull as much as we can by hand. And then the cool thing on it, oh yeah, listen to that noise. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so now it's actually snug onto my boot. It's not gonna go anywhere. I like how it fits, how it feels. It's actually very comforting, you know? Like at the end of a hard day, and you just, cold, long day at work, 7-hour removal, you're busting your ass up there. Negatives, you get home and you just get in the covers and it's just like that. You just, you know, get the shivers of excitement. But anyway, I get ahead of myself, or I get too excited. There's also a little backslide here, back little attachment hole, where you can slip the excess webbing if you feel that it's gonna bother you, if it sticks out. That'll just keep this in place on the boot. I do miss this feature where I'm kicking out on command. But like I said, right now it's still a very premium foot ascender. Let's get the retention out. Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. And it's very compact, very nice, very easy. You clip onto your climbing device, like in this instance I have a Blackbird. And then you would just go to town. As you're ascending, oh yeah, there we go. If you do run into that issue, we do have a video on how to aid yourself without needing to attach a chainsaw, coiling the rope at the bottom. In this instance, the rope was not feeding as I would like it to, which is another thing with the catch. It doesn't allow the rope to flow a little bit easier through it on this one. But if you have that issue, take the rope, right? Check out Dominic's video on this. As you step up, you're pulling the rope up with you until you have enough weight where you can just continue to roll. Once you reach your destination, obviously you stop, disconnect, take one off, and I can't kick it out just like I used to, but now I can just do that, go to work, and rappel when needed. So, if you're in the market for a foot ascender upgrade, the Pantin Click, definitely a solid option. And or if you can get your hands on the old Pantin with no catch, if you're someone like me that does not like the catch feature, I'm just gonna switch mine out. But let me know what you think of the Pantin. If you are using one, let me know your current thoughts. If you get one, let me know what you think of it. Don't forget to hit that like, the subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.